I got a call yesterday from the NFL Hall of Fame asking me if I thought yesterday's big Jet win deserved an entry into Canton. I said, you're damn right it does. Zach Wilson, 17 of 36, 240 yards and a touchdown. And with everyone counting him out, he made two of the greatest plays of his career, throwing the ball for first downs and getting them into field goal range. After a terrible game, there's Zach Wilson, 40 yards down the field. And here's Zach Wilson on the run. Oh. Bang. Now let the clock run on this one. Time's running out. Jets don't have a timeout. Oh, no. Is the ref going to spot the ball?
He did.
We don't wait for the ref to spot no ball. We're the New York Jets. And because the ref did touch the ball, although he didn't spot the ball, he touched the ball. We got a chance for Greg the Leg Zuerlein to tie the game. And then here comes the objectionable coaching mistake that Brian Daboll made. A lot of people are suggesting when the Giants had the ball 4th and 1 and they attempted a short field goal for a guy who was Mr. Automatic last year, and Graham Gano, he's not been great this year, that they should have gone for it. Have Saquon Barkley, run, try to get 2 yards. Game's a wrap, right? Brian Daboll said the reason I kicked is that I thought being up 6 makes the game over. And he's right. If Gano makes that kick, the Jets are not going to win the game. But here's what I find to be objectionable. It's not that decision, because I agree with it. It's a 30-some-odd yard field goal. The guy's so good, make the kick, the game's over. Mm-hmm. When you go to overtime, and the Jets' offense stinks as much as your offense stinks, that's the time to defer.
I thought that too.
That's the time when you win the coin toss, you want to kick off. The Jets are probably going to go 3 and out. You're going to get the ball. Worst case, your own 35 maybe, in that vicinity, and now you have a chance to get 2 first downs and go for the game-winning kick. That's the mistake you made.
And on top of that, you didn't when you didn't defer and you did get the ball, you didn't do anything different from the first half. You didn't look like you're making any attempts to win the game. Everything you stayed stagnant. You ran the ball.
Well, the holding call hurt.
Sure. But out of that, man, I give it to you. The lack of deference in that moment was.
And I know that goes against what everybody thinks, but you have to understand also the game you're watching.
Yeah, I thought that initially, and then I also thought and recalled that I'm an offensive guy and I understand the rules of
touchdown wins the game.
Touchdown. Like, I thought them not being aggressive at all was just the wrong move. Like, and to have a quarterback come in, obviously you don't expect him to play. But you can't have a quarterback on your roster. This is the National Football League. Yep. If you can't push the ball down the field, why do you even have a guy on your roster that can't run your offense?
Tommy DeVito.
I thought it was so just poor. It was terrible to watch.
But it almost worked.
It almost worked because of Saquon.
When they did let him throw the ball, it was the immediate screen pass to Saquon. Yeah. Right.
So defensively, you're not putting or applying pressure to the defense. One of the things that bothers me, and we talked about this just before we came back on air, is defensively, Wink Martindale, any defensive coordinator in the National Football League, when your defense is actually working and getting stops all game, forget about the prevent defense.
Right.
Don't do it. Just understand who you are and what has provided you to be in this position. Don't run in prevent defense and give a quarterback that has struggled all game all this open area to throw the football. Like, why do you do this?
And Greg, you're 100% right, because up until this point, Zach Wilson, that offensive line, couldn't do nothing. First of all, the Jets were playing with their practice squad, third-string offensive line.
That's
who
right.
was putting up a fight of their life.
Yeah.
Those guys are third strings for a reason. And they will talk about the bad sacks. That Zach Wilson got sacked because he couldn't get rid of the football.
Yep.
He took bad sacks. And you're talking about this center who is Xavier Newman, who I give a lot of credit to, because people don't understand. When you're a practice squad guy selected to play, he started at right guard. We lost two centers. They moved him at center. He's in wet conditions, and he's snapping to a guy he's never even talked to in the cafeteria. Right? So what pisses me off is you got to give that line some grace, because normally a kid like that in that position, he'll shell up, and he's like, man, we got to put Lincoln Thomas in there. The kid can't handle it. After those two botched snaps, he's
look, I don't think anyone would have blamed him. We would have blamed Zach Wilson for another bad performance, especially when you're going up against a team that is immediately one-dimensional, and your defense, other than the DeVito scramble for the touchdown, did its job, right? The Giants didn't score. They got probably a couple too many first downs for our liking, but you're going up against a one-dimensional team that really can't score.
One player
and all you need is like one score yourself, and you're going to win the game. But as Robert Saleh said to me after the game, they don't count how. They count how many. Stack them W's.
One thing I want to point out from this game is that the biggest play, and you mentioned the line, and Thibodeau made some sacks, and Zach Wilson ran backwards and took some bad sacks, but the Thibodeau penalty on the second to last play was the entire game, because what this penalty does, gives Zach Wilson a free play so he feels confident throwing it down the field.
He knows it.
And now the clock stops. If the clock does not stop there, they have no timeouts. Nothing else happens after this. And if that clock keeps going, maybe they get 3 seconds
it's
to throw
more
a
that.
Hail Mary.
It's not so much the free play part. I agree, because it didn't change how the Giants defended the play. And Zach actually did a good job stepping up into the pocket, and he threw a laser beam. It's a great pass. What you're dead on right about is the fact that it stops the clock. And the problem for Kayvon Thibodeau is that he was probably the best defensive player in football
destroyed Becton
yesterday. He owns Mekhi Becton
100%.
and had a great game, and that's the play we're going to remember because it stopped the clock. Listen, there's another play in the game we're not going to show you where I was saying out loud to the people in my house, like there's one play where they got pass interference call on defense, and for some reason I'm like, how come we didn't accept the penalty? It would have moved the ball up another 3 yards from where Garrett Wilson was. But it doesn't matter, folks, because
it does.
No, it does.
It does.
Because here's why. When Kansas City wins ugly, no one says nothing. When Philly wins ugly, nobody says nothing. But when the Jets win ugly, it's all of a sudden like, they're not allowed.
There were 24 punts in the game.
There's levels to ugly.
Thank you.
There's levels to ugly.
Let me tell you how bad it was. Both teams were 0 for 18 on third down in the first half. 0 for 18.
I know.
Like, what are
How
we
do you
talking
even
about?
get
to 18 third downs when you don't convert any of them?
The New York Jets were 2 for 15 on third down.
55 yards of penalties
I'm
in
looking
the
at
first
Wilson.
half.
They're like, all right, Wilson was 17 for 36. That's bad. But I'm thinking, like, where were the other 15 completions? Because I don't remember them.
But this is what pisses me off, Jacoby. Because it was so ugly, and because only if the Giants kicker can actually hit a kick, we've got to glorify Zach Wilson in this performance. It was atrocious across the board.
I couldn't disagree anymore with you guys. Why can't we? Oh, it's funny how the Jets are the only team in the league not allowed to win ugly. Everybody else wins an ugly game.
They almost lost to a quarterback that didn't throw the ball in the second half.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Every other team in the league wins ugly. But God forbid Zach Wilson makes plays late after an ugly game. You can all suck it. All right? Because the New York Jets have now won 3 consecutive games. And, by the way, we are the kings of New York for the next 4 years. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And, by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out, too.